Hello viewers, welcome to Angular 8 tutorial. Today onwards, we are going to begin with a new tutorial which is on Angular, and this is we are going to cover version 8, which is the latest as of now. So now before moving into the introduction part, okay, hope all are doing well. And Angular 8 tutorial introduction part I am beginning with, but before that I just want to have it like why it is being used so widely and why it is so popular, because Angular 8 is something it's taken over the market. I will say it is the on market demand for the developers. Those are building a career on development and looking for a great future or over ahead. So, like though irrespective of which platform you are currently working with and belongs to, like .NET, you might be from Java or PHP, any other languages, they are also demanding Angular as of now with a good hands-on experience. So that's I plan to design such tutorial so that it we both or we all gets benefited out of it, right? And those are from only belongs to the client scripting basically, like those are working with Node, but okay, so sometimes Node is used to behave for server build as well. But apart from like those are working only on the client perspective, like the UI and client side applications, they are moving into its main stack, and those are from the server side like .NET, Java, and PHP and so on are called as full stack level developers. So let's begin with the introduction part. So Angular is nothing but it's a basically it's a JavaScript framework. See, when we are talking about the JavaScript, basically browser understands only three things. One is the completely HTML, what browser understands, and the scripting, it understands JavaScript, and for styling and all it only understands CSS. So JavaScript is one of them. Again, JavaScript we will try to divide into the technology basically. So there are two things, more libraries. One, the second thing we are talking about the framework. Like we are having jQuery. This is called as a library. It's a JavaScript library. When we are talking about Angular, it's a JavaScript framework. Like we are having a lot of knockout and all. It's all from JavaScript itself. So that's why it's called as a JavaScript and most popular framework and platform to build client-side applications such as mobile IoTs and web applications. Web applications in the sense nowadays we are moving towards the single page applications. Okay, so we'll discuss one by one. Like mobile nowadays, apart from web applications, the market demands more over into mobile applications so that we can directly reach out to on a fingertip to the user. Okay, so because nobody wants to just spend time, I doesn't mean to say like web application is outdated. Okay, don't take in other way. But okay, mobile is something like you can just have it in your pocket and you can just open it and get your job done, right? And IoTs like tablets, because user is now more smarter than what we had previously in terms of technology. Okay, so like we are having tablets, we are having lot of devices which comes under the Internet of Things or IoT is the short form, and web applications we always we used to have this, and with the mobile is the just is bumping the market, I would say. And web applications is single page application. Think what is the single page application and the normal web applications? When we are talking about the normal web applications, there will be a href link where you are just clicking on, either there will be a post back request or you can handle it asynchronously. But single page application is something you will have a single layout only, and within the particular layout, your normal HTML gets loaded into a main HTML. So that's the thing. Let's suppose I have a index HTML, and whenever I'm clicking on, let's suppose about us and contact us or maybe home page. So three pages would be the three HTML. It is getting loaded into your layout page. So in terms of .NET, it's a master page. You will have a render body section. Within the render body section, you are simply winding up your other HTML contents. So this is all about the single page applications. Let's move on. Like Angular is open source based client framework. Of course, it is a client based application to build high reachable multi support type of environment as well as application. And yes, and what is TypeScript here is like TypeScript is a Microsoft developed language which gets transpiled. So see guys, here I am not terming it as compiled. Basically it's transpiled because it's transpiled the transcript code into the JavaScript code. And why it's so? Because browser only understands JavaScript, as I said before. Okay, and it has been designed to create dynamic web applications. So which it means, like, there are three terms we are considering a web app as a dynamic web application. One condition is your time to time. Like, what is time to time? Means we are thinking of on each interval of time if there is a requirement to update the data going asynchronously without knowing the user, like we are posting back or it should not be posting back also. So let's take example of your cricket score. If you can talk about many sites we have, so it gets updated, in the short time for interval when the scoreboard also gets changed. And this is the one of the example, like you can take time to time. Okay, and the location to location is nothing but it's your weather report website. Like let's suppose you are just planning to build a weather telecast or something, that also gets changed, so you can get it done. And even there are some map or Google Map kind of thing gets inserted, and based on the search, or based on the live data or live tracking, you are just taking off like what Zomato has, what other application has, like the location gets changed. So such kind of application you can take it into consideration. And the third one is all about user to user. So like what user to users, like we are considering an web application which is, looks equally, but yes, of course, the data format and the data would be different and varies user to user. Like we are talking about the mail functionality, the mail application like Gmail, Yahoo, and so on. So this is called dynamic web application in a short term or it's a simple term. Why it's called? Because the content gets changed dynamically based on the on-demand situation. Okay, so let's move into the next one. Okay, so like okay, like many of users or you would have heard like Angular. We have Angular 1, Angular 2, Angular 3, Angular 4, and now so on with Angular 8. And now we are Angular is going to launch the next version as Angular 9. But the thing is, see, is the fact like Angular only has two versions. One is called Angular JS, that is like 1.x.x and so on. And the next is called your Angular, that is starts from the version 2 onwards till now it is 8. Okay, so don't be on confusion always. There is Angular 2 versions only. So basically, okay, so now we are going to discuss the version formats. Every version has three, version has three things. One is 1.2.3. Let's consider it into the first. It indicates this one. It indicates the major version, and the middle one is called minor version, and the third one is called fixes and patches. Basically, the third one gets changed when there is an ongoing version and you are rectifying some of fixes and some of patches would have been done. So then it is getting changed. So that is called the third 1.2.4 maybe in future. And okay, so let's minor. What is minor all about? Minor is something. Let's suppose you are enhancing some of functionality without some of features or something functionality without breaking the current version's functionality. Then it is going to be there is a change with minor version. And what is major version? When there is a new functionality to be added with a new, something is going to be launched, then it is going to be changed as 1 to 2. Like Angular also, Angular team has been doing, so far. like 2, 4, these are the called major versions. Okay, so okay, regarding Angular versioning, like the next version, it will come up with is Angular 9. The Angular team has planned to launch a particular version like in every 6 month of interval. So you would be thinking why they have come up with 4 post 2. What about the 3? Okay, so where it got vanished, right? The thing is, when they were developing the version 3, there were some changes, which is like you can just simply get it the total idea I have not mentioned here. It is going to be incorporated to the next version basically. It is something like which is would be the part of the next version routing and all. So that's why they just skip the version and they have come up with the immediate release with Angular version 4. And then after there are a lot of announcements, a lot of features got added. Okay, so with latest version. So now we are covering Angular 8. So this is all about the Angular history and how the team works basically in terms of versioning and the releases. Okay, so benefits of Angular. So main is your called your cross-platform. And okay, so what it speaks about like it is used to create modern web platform application that delivers in high performance. Of course, like when we are talking about a web application nowadays, earlier we used to have it on more technologies. When we are just going to develop a web application using Angular, okay, it is high reachable because in nature by default Angular of type asynchronous. So in a fraction of second you can get it find the data. When we are talking about the data, that is the most sensitive part and the more time taking job you can consider, because we can expect a number of lakhs or number of records would be going to be in your future for a particular application production environment. So that is the most sensitive part, and Angular is something that the architecture has been designed in such a way like it supports in a very faster process, and it helps to build native mobile apps with the help of Cordova Ionic and native script. So these are the three things you can make use of to create a mobile application as well. Because Angular 2 onwards, they have designed in a such a way so that one application can be built for both the environment, especially for mobile and web, which was not fully supported in Angular JS. So that's why they have come up with the Angular, and why it's even that is the reason being why it's the rewrite version of Angular 1 2, right? So as well as it is not a platform different also, like it can be for desktop installed in terms of several platform we are talking about, like Mac, which is for your Apple and iOS, and Windows of course from Microsoft, and Linux. Okay, and the second and the major we are talking about the most beneficial thing is your performance, as I discussed at the start of this video session as well. Like Angular converts templates into JavaScript, as I told, because the browser machine only understands JavaScript. Support languages like .NET, Node.js, PHP, etc. and way to converting in HTML says. Okay, so like it supports or it can be integrated with the multiple languages we are having. Like we would be developing using a Java application, .NET application, PHP, Node. Okay, so it can be easily integrated. There won't be a very big challenge, and it is easily incorporatable, and we can just start the development and in a quick action basis, and it has a extensive support. That's the second line is all about. And this app loads quickly with help of router, of course, as I told some time before. Like let's suppose you are talking about a href link and you are talking about the Angular route, that we are of course we are going to have a very long session and a very deep session on this particular routing part. So mainly to have a target to build a single page application rather than just posting back the data again and again. So it is again a problem of performance factor, right? So it has a extensive support for that too, and user load code required to render the view just requested. And this is the second point, like the one you are requesting, it will load that part only rather than just loading the entire content. So it is something you can think of your partial view in MVC. You can think of the partial page submission is all about. So that's even enhances the performance of your application. That's why this is the very common and very major reasons like why Angular is getting succeeded in market, and the more project and the more uh, people are looking into this have the application on Angular. So thank you for watching this video, and I'm going to just launch its next session soon, and December 31st, and today I'm happy to announce like I have started on December 31st of this video session of this particular Angular tutorial, our series, and we are just about to say goodbye to 2019, and just some of our left for zero night celebration, of course, and we are welcoming the 2020, the new year, and I am praying to God it should come up with a lot of happiness and success on your head to all of you, and wishing you a happy new year. So okay, so this is the URL you can visit to get all text version of my all tutorials basically, and this is the URL for this particular video series. Apart from like kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel escape.net by clicking on the subscribe button, and post that just click on the bell icon to get the notification whenever there is a post from my site. Okay, so till then, keep smiling, keep sharing your knowledge to others, all, and keep learning always because learning never has an end. Thank you.